Hello, I wanted to do a video on energetic currency, what it is, and how do I fully embrace it, and how does it actually relate to the law of alignment. So, energetic currency is literally everything that you do, and every action, every thought, like literally everything boils down to energy. So, for example, let's say you work a 8-hour day. You go to work, you do your 8 hours, and then you go home. Your employer, or you, if you're self-employed, you are going to compensate the energy that you exerted during those 8 hours. And they're going to compensate that energy by giving you dollar bills, right? And so actual financial money or financial currency is what we have agreed to. This is where the law of agreement comes in. We have agreed that for every minute, every hour that we exert of our energy is worth X amount of dollars, right? This is what we have agreed upon as a society. We have agreed that this is how we're going to compensate. And so you have to look at it from the standpoint of if you did not exert the energy during those 8 hours, you would not get paid financial dollars for that time, right? So this is why it is so important that the job that you do is something that you enjoy doing. The job that you do is something that brings you joy, brings you happiness, you love doing. If you are in a job or a career or an industry that you don't like and it makes you absolutely miserable, and you do it day in and day out because you're just like, this is the job that I chose. This is the career that I chose. Some of us have this crazy loyalty to a company and we're just like, ugh, right? Or, oh, my pension or whatever it is that keeps you in this industry or in this position that is absolutely miserable is only harming yourself. When you stay locked in a position like this, you're telling the universe or God, creator, great spirit, that this is what you want to be aligned to. Why? Because you're spending the bulk of your day in this situation, right? And so when you think about the fact that on average, we're just going to use averages, on average, people sleep 6 to 8 hours a night. And then you spend 8 hours a day at work. The average person, believe it or not, is actually commuting an hour to work and an hour home. So there's 18 hours out of your day just between sleeping and work, right? Because if you have to commute, you have to lump that in to your hours working, because if you didn't commute, you wouldn't be at work, right? And so that's 18 hours out of the day that, or not necessarily 18 hours out of the day, we'll say 10 hours out of the day that you are in a complete miserable mood because you don't actually like the job or the career that you're in. And so the way it works is the universe gives you what you align with. The universe gives you what you accept. The universe gives you what you ask for, basically. And so if you're in a position or in a career and you're completely unhappy, the best thing you can do is get out of it. Now, do you maybe need to go back to school? Do you maybe need to consider a whole new industry change? Maybe you do. But you're better off to basically jump ship and do something that makes you happy, because then the universe starts giving you things that make you happy. It starts saying, okay, their focus just changed. They want to attract more happiness into their life. They no longer are going to accept the world where they just stay unhappy. And then the universe starts aligning you to the things in your life that bring you happiness, right? And so energetic currency is so important because it tells the universe exactly what we want to be aligned to. Now, when we take those financial dollars that we get for exerting the energy, right? So we've done our 8 hours, and our employer or ourselves, if we're self-employed, we then transfer the funds into our bank account, and then we spend that money on paying our bills, rent, mortgage, utilities, water, food, clothing. You know, maybe we want to go see a movie, or we want to go for dinner, or we want to go do a seminar or workshop, and we spend that money on all of those things. Now, all we're really doing is bartering our energy, and we've just accepted that the barter currency is the financial money that we get. Now, the other thing we have to consider, everything we spend that money on, because we get that money is directly related to our energy, because we had to exert the energy to get the financial back in. And so anytime we spend money, we actually want to make sure that we're spending money on things that we actually are aligned to, things that we want to support. If we're taking our money, and let's say we're giving money to a company, and deep down inside, we really don't like that company. We think they're unethical. We think they do horrible things. We think that they treat their employees bad, whatever, right? If you take your money, which is literally just an exchange of your energy, and you take it and you support a company that you personally have an issue with, then you are taking on a portion of that company's, we'll use the word karma, just because everybody kind of understands the word karma and what it means. If you don't, I'll do a video on that later. But you're actually taking on a portion of that company's energetic karma. And you're telling the universe that you support that and you don't mind taking on that company's karma, right? So you're in alignment with their views, you're in alignment with their ethics, you're in alignment with their morals, you're in alignment with whatever it is. Now, if you're not in alignment and you're supporting the company, then you're not being true to yourself. And if you're not being true to yourself, then you're completely out of alignment with everything. So it's very important that whatever your core beliefs are, whatever your core values are, that you stay true to who you are. And if you don't actually like what a company does, don't support them, because you're then, not only are you out of alignment with yourself, but you're then giving your energy to a company that you don't actually agree with. And then the universe then turns around and says, oh, well, you know, I guess Amanda really is in agreement with this company, because otherwise she wouldn't be supporting them, because she's given her energy to them, right? And so every time we spend money, it is like spending our own energetic currency. It is like taking our own energetic signature and giving them the seal of approval and saying, I am in alignment with this company. I will support this company. I will give my energy, my money to this company. And in exchange, I understand that I will energetically be connected to this company, right? And so it's very important to actually think about, who are you supporting and what is that company doing? Now, if it's a company that you support wholeheartedly, you don't think they're doing anything wrong, and you're supporting them, that's fine. Now, if you find out down the road, so let's say you're supporting Jane Doe's coffee shop, okay? And you're buying your coffee there, and you're buying your sweetener there, and you're buying your cream there, and your sugar there, and all that stuff. And then later you find out that Jane Doe is really not a good person. you find out that, kind of shady. Well, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're energetically supporting Jane Doe and you don't know that they're a bad person, then you're not necessarily going to connect, like you're not connecting to that portion. But if you know that Jane Doe is a shady person and that Jane Doe, doesn't do things all on the up and up, and that she doesn't use the best ingredients, and, she's putting some stuff in there that's really not good for people, or whatever it is. Once you know, you know. When you know something and you still support them, then you're even more energetically giving them the seal of approval, because you can't really be held accountable for what you don't know, right? There's things in life that we just don't know. And so I just want to put that out there that, you can support a company and not know that they're, not necessarily the greatest company. And then when you do find out, that's when you're like, oh, I feel bad that I've been supporting this company for this long, but going forward, I'm not going to anymore. That's right. So just so you know, like, there is a little bit of leeway here, right? It's not like the universe is going to come back and be like, oh, you've been supporting Jane Doe all these years, and, you're going to be held accountable for that. No, you only become accountable for what your energies are doing once you know what your energies are doing, right? Now, that's just, kind of the way the universe works, right? And so I just wanted to do this video on energetic currency, what it is, how does it affect the law of alignment, and how do we use it to our advantage? And so, as always, if you have questions, if you need clarity, if you want to have a discussion around this topic, please reach out. And otherwise, I am wishing you the very best of days, and I hope you have a fantastic week.